Well guys, as I say, I've always said my goodbyes, but as a addendum, it's been a really nice morning in these woods. And I have seen butterflies, I have seen dragonflies, I've seen a goldfinch and a few other birds. In fact, I can see another butterfly ahead of me on this small clearing. Get out there guys, it's wonderful. This thing called bushcraft isn't all about sitting around campfires boozing it up. It's getting out into the woods and really all fields, coast, the lot. It's getting out there and enjoying the wildlife and these trees that we got around us. Look at them, beautiful. Anyway guys, I'm going to sign off properly this time, and I shall see you further down the line. Bye. Well, there's a lot of this going on in the woods of late. People trying to build shelters, and as I've scanned around, I found on the ground 2 crosscut saws. What a waste of money. I mean, you know, you could at least took them home, but these I think are basically kids breaking into teenage years and spreading their wings a bit. It does sadden me that they just indiscriminately chop down the trees and try and make shelters. The shelters aren't very good anyway, you know, they're not a patch on what you would make on a course or what you'd make in a situation. But then again, shelter building in the southern English woodlands is very difficult. To make a debris shelter that's going to protect you from anything like bad weather, it's going to take you a good day to make, and particularly around here when you've got no leaf litter at all, might as well just give up. You're better off keeping a tarp in your bag and using that. Shelter building or den building is just a waste of time in a situation like this. I'm just trying to find little doggies over in the woods there somewhere. You can just about see him. Anyway, maybe a bit more on that later, but definitely a bit more on the construction. I'm trying to find some wood to do a few projects with, and trying to find something to haft my axe blade onto. Not a standard axe blade, but my bronze one. At the moment, can't find any willow. There's plenty in here, but I've not come across it yet. Having said that, I've just come across some willow, but it hasn't got anything suitable. Anyway guys, I'm going to take a little wander, see what else there is to see. This is lovely and quiet. This time of the day, getting on for about 8:30. It's really nice. It's really nice and quiet. I haven't found any of my favourite fungi this season, which is chicken of the woods, but salabi. Well, I want to do a bit of cordage making, well, I need some cordage, and I found some basic cordage here. And it's stinging nettles, so I'm going to pick a few of these, only about half a dozen or so. Help me with my little project that I want to do. If I can find the wood. There's plenty of wood in the wood, but I can't find the right sort of wood at the moment. When gathering nettles, I always use a very thin pair of gloves. These are thermal gloves. They're just great for picking nettles. I used to be pretty good at one time, I didn't need gloves, but you know, err on the side of caution. I always carry a set of gloves in my pocket anyway. So basically all you do is you cut back like that. One, two, three. I think it's going to be enough for what I need. And basically, just clip it in. This actually kills the stings as well. Should give me enough of what I need anyway. But there we go, guys. I thought we cut 6. Oh well, we can always get another one. There's one over there. Well, I found what I was after. I found some willow, but it's taken a different turning. And as you can see, I've harvested some, and it's going to be for me a surprise project. It's amazing. Willow is quite an amazing piece of wood, really. The way it just grows back. Had these been a bit longer, maybe a bit thicker, could have made a bender, but I've got other plans for this, and I hope the plan that I have got for this is going to work. Anyway, there we go, nice piece of willow. Well, hi guys, just waiting for the kettle to boil up. There's a piece of sycamore, no not sycamore, sweet chestnut. It's part of my project for today. I don't think I'll complete it because I've got to wait for the little cordage to sort itself out really. But what I want to do is make some tongs for when I'm cooking out in the open. I'm not cooking today. I've got a lovely quiche waiting for me indoors. So I've got some ideas to cook up something maybe next week. It'd be a pork hash. It's not like corned beef hash, it's slightly different, but some more on that later. So what I'm going to do is, in a minute I'm going to split the wood down the middle. I shall go through that, but first of all I'm just going to strip the bark off. And to that end I've got my trusty jacklaw. Needs a bit of a clean up. The sweet chestnut has really stained the blade. Choke the blade slightly and just gore it down the side, and with a bit of luck it should come off. I want to get into doing some bark work. I'm working it out in my head what to do. The fact is, doing bark work means I have to chop the whole tree down, so I've got to make sure that I can use the whole tree and not just a little piece of it. And just because to me it's a waste of a resource, so I've got to look at taking using the whole tree. There we go. Oh, now what I'm going to do now is oh, the bark's coming off quite easy. Well, the water's boiling, so I'm going to tip that into the old cup. The lid on, put the trangier out. Invariably I take the little trangier triangle out with me. I mean, there are many other small stoves like that on the market now. Honey Stove's brought one out, pocket stove, and they're very good. They're great for just having something in your rucksack. You can make a really small piece of kit. If I'm right in thinking I can get some cordage out of this, but I say you just got to strip the bark off. It's a little bit more difficult. We're well into the warm weather now. We're almost into official summer, and of course the sap's finished rising. I'm finding, though it's a slightly open grain, I find sweet chestnut an amazingly nice wood to work with. I've got a few tools I made indoors, eating irons. Again, that's going to be another little project. It's just to make something to eat with, not necessarily a spoon. So a wooden spoon should be in all your backpacks. I mean, everybody likes to buy a light my fire spoon, but there's nothing quite like it in a meal that you've cooked yourself with something you've made. I do have some bowls that I've made indoors, but I've got to work on them, and I'm not quite happy with the way they finish. They're a little bit chunky, and I might have to take to the knife again. There we go. I stripped it of all its bark. Right, just put that up there for a minute. I'm just going to have a quick look at this bark. See, with cordage, you've got to really scrape off the top layer of the bark. I mean, I know you can get cordage off of sweet chestnut. I've used it in the past myself. But normally you've got to wait until it's really dry. No, it's not going to work this time. Right. Just going to pull the tea bag out the tea. We'll go over there and I'll show you how to split a piece of wood. It's a method I learnt on one of the courses. I would assume that most of you would know how to do this, and it's quite a safe method of splitting wood. I haven't got a throw with me today, but I don't think a throw would actually split it the way I want. Anyway, I'll see you in a second, guys. Keep him well back and the stick well forward so that the knife is away from between your legs, because there are three things: femoral artery, and your Charlies. And you want to keep the knife blade away from all, particularly the femoral arteries, because otherwise you've got about 8 seconds if you pierce one of them. So that blade away from you, just tap the top. Ideally you could try and find yourself a decent stump that's flat, but I've just got to get a donk. Can't seem to get through. And normally when I'm doing this, I'm normally using a thinner bit of wood. There we go. Once it starts, you're okay. Obviously trying to keep the wood stay still. and split out quite nicely. Very careful. If it tends to be running off to one side, you pull heavier on the opposite side. So if it's going to the right, you pull on the left, and vice versa. Knots always prove a bit of a pain. Oops, and anything. Put it to one side. I don't think it's going to split out as well as I liked, but I think it's going to be long enough. Try a bit. Right, that'll do me. Got the length that I need. And all what I do is saw it. There we go. Right. I've got 2 halves of wood, and I just want to show you something on here. Now, if you look carefully, you can see some dark purple spots. That's where the blade of the knife went into the wood. Along with oak, sweet chestnut has a high amount of tannin. That's why it always stains your knife blade. It's nothing too untoward. It can make the knife blade look pretty sometimes, but you know, it's just one of those things. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trim this down a bit. In fact, what I'm going to do before anything else is get some of this nettle cordage, or this nettle, and I shall show you how to make up a bit of nettle cordage. This is wet nettle, by the way, so you have to really wait till it dries. Once you've stripped it off, which I'm going to go through that process in a second, you just have to wait until it dries and then re-soak it and then twist it into cordage. Otherwise, if you twist it into cordage straight away, it will loosen up and you won't get a very good thing. What I'm going to use now is the pocket knife. If I can find it. Yep, there we go. Right. This has been a rather obstinate blooming hammock today. There we go, got it. Right, now this is the only knife I keep on a lanyard. I do not have lanyards on my bush knives. I don't find the need for them. They can make it look, okay, it adds decoration, but it also adds a certain amount of hazard. The only time I will put, right, here we go, you split it down one side, there's quite a big history behind nettle fibre. It was actually used at one time to make a type of cloth. It was actually produced in Denmark, but it was sold in Scotland and it was called Scotch cloth. It was also during the First World War to make uniforms for the German soldiers. And it can actually produce quite a fine cloth apparently. Some modern fashion designers that work a bit out of the ordinary still use it. Now this is the fun bit. Right, it's not working as well as I thought it would, but this is quite old nettle and trying to get it to spark. Gotcha. Stick your thumbnail in it. Right, open it up. I haven't made nettle cordage in quite a long while actually. in the muscle memory, you just turn it down. There we go. Just got to wait for that to dry, and that will spin up into quarters. But I might not. I might just spin it up because I want to show you how to do this set of tongs. So just pop it on the ground there, and I'll get another bit if I can find it amongst the willow. Oh, you're there somewhere. There we go. Right. Oh, this is a slightly smaller bit. Poke it up into the hole there. To me, this is bushcraft. For some reason, some people think going out and buying stuff all the time is bushcraft, but it ain't. To me, this is bushcraft. It's looking at the resources around you, and I mean, obviously you're going to need to buy stuff. I mean, you know, things like a hammock or a bivvy bag. But on the whole, you know, it's all there around you. You know, trees and this. But the only thing I can't find a really good use for, apart from making tinder when it's dried right off, is bracken. It's no good as bedding material because it squashes down to nothing. It can be quite glassy. There we go, got it. And your finger up it like that. Ah, this is a bit better, this is a better one. Ah, got it. About halfway. And run your fingers on the other side. There we go. Ah, this is a bit better, right. Of course, nettle's got 101 uses. I mean, eat the young shoots in the spring, and if you keep picking them, you can actually use it like a cool and come again spinach, and you know, you boil it up until about solstice, summer solstice. What else can you do with nettle? You can deep fry them. Lovely nettle crisps, a little bit of tempera batter. Makes good fertiliser for the garden. It's great for the control of arthritis, so you call it urtication, and it sort of stimulates the blood flow. What else can you use it for? Great, it's got lots of proteins, iron, very, very rich. Anyway, I'm going to be in a terrible habit of burbling, and the update's coming in. Attempt to assemble this. I haven't twisted the cordage up as I should do, but I just want to try and demonstrate putting this together. What I should probably do is I'm going to take this home and finish it off, because I'm going to sand it down a bit. But basically, I've got a small spigot here, and that's made from the willow that I picked earlier. And that holds the tongs apart, so basically what you've got is that, so they spring apart. You can move the spigot down a bit more if you like, so that you haven't got such a big gap. It's still springy. Now ideally, and if this will work, you wrap your net all around the spigot first, and then you start wrapping it around here. Whoops, it's broken. Oh dear. Well, that's my fault for not twisting it up properly. And trying to use wet cordage rather than letting it dry, then wetting it. But basically what I will do is eventually all the way down here I should just use some cordage. I've got some jute twine indoors. I don't like using paracord too much except for when I'm doing shelters, because to me again it detracts from the essence of bushcraft, you know. The use of paracords become pretty ubiquitous, and bank line, you know, it's not using the skills that you have. Basically that's what you got. And if I just tie around the back end so it doesn't, I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff now. I mean, it makes a really good cordage, you know. Of late Mr. Mears has said that it doesn't make such a superior cordage as in one of his books, but in an earlier book he says it makes excellent cordage. Go figure. So basically you whip it on that end so you've got a bit of weight there, and there you go, there's your tongs. Great for turning your burgers over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to thin this right down. I've got all the tools indoors. I'm going to use a draw knife and sand it down, let the wood dry out a little bit, make quite a nice set of wooden tongs for bushcrafting. Bushcraft tongs, and there you go. Of course you could make them wider so you could lift hot rocks with them, but this is for basically turning stuff over on a braai or a griddle. Very nice, and the magic four-letter word, they are free. The only cost is your effort into making them. There you go, bushcraft tongs. Guys, here I am, still out in the woods. Picked a load of this. I'm going to try and do something I've never tried before, and I don't think I'm going to be that successful because I think these are just a bit too thick. And that's how I'm going to try and make a bush basket, a basket out of the bush. As I say, I've got this willow here. I've never tried it before. It's going to be an interesting exercise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 5 minutes stripping the leaves off. So basically I've got withies. And then maybe, hopefully, Uncle Pete can make himself a little basket. I've never made one before, as I've just said, and it's going to be an interesting exercise. So I've started it. I'm not being very successful either. I've just got to keep persevering with this weave, even though it's getting very warm. What I might have to do is to pop the withies, or maybe even split them out. It's not very good, and I'm not having much success. I've never woven before, and we all have to start somewhere. What I'm going to try and do is see if I can split it out. When I talk about popping the withies, it's basically giving them a twist, but even that's not nah. I might have to just see if I can split these out, make them a bit thinner. Whatever way I'm looking at it, it's just not working, and I really would like to have made a basket. Alright. I really wanted to make a basket today, and I don't think I'm going to be very successful. It was worth a try. If I strip the bark down, I might have to just let these dry out, split them, Right. Maybe I should use something, I mean the video I saw used bramble. Aha, it's splitting out okay. Whoops, not, maybe not. Oh, this way mate, this way, come on. Oh, what? Oh. What I think guys is I'm going to have to call this a day on this. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. Maybe, I've just had an idea, maybe it's I'm using too thick a piece. They need to be a bit more whippy, so what I want to try and do is cut them off a bit and then do it that way. Because the ends are very whippy, and maybe that's what I need, to have a whippy end. I might have been actually looking at this the wrong way, because this is quite whippy there, but I can actually bend that quite well. So maybe I was looking at this in the wrong manner. I want to make a little basket anyway, so it's right. Let's try it this way then. And I don't think I'm going to use so many spokes. I'm just going to have the 4. Oh, lost one. So any advice guys, all you sort of crafty types who may be doing this, would be a godsend, because right, let's tie that off. Start again. Right. No, I think it's back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board on that one, guys. It's not working the way I thought it might. Not always successful in stuff. I really thought using the willow with this. I've used willow before, but I think, thinking back upon it, that was making a fish basket, and that was a bit bigger. That was something about that long. A fish trap it was. Same size withies, funnily enough. But it was a bigger weaving product. It wasn't so tight. So maybe that's where I was going wrong. In fact, I think that is definitely where I'm going wrong. I'm trying to bend stuff that doesn't really want to bend that much on too tight a circle. So I've learnt a lesson there. I'm going to leave these withies here in my little spot, and maybe try and sort something out later on down the line. Well, anyway, guys, I think that's it for today. I'm going to turn this old girl off. Try and think of what to do with these withies. I think I've got a few plans, maybe. I'm just a bit disappointed. I'm chopping my head off here. I'm just a bit disappointed in the project that I had in property. I mean, I didn't even come out today to make a basket, so it was all straight off the cuff. But I'm slightly disappointed that it hadn't worked the way that I wanted it to work. I've learnt some valuable lessons. Even make a mistake. If you don't make a mistake, you don't learn a lesson. I've learnt some valuable lessons in trying to use withies to weave a bush basket. They are far too, look. So I would need to think of something else to do with these. In fact, I've got a pretty good idea on what I'm going to do with these, and that's for another video. I shall tie these up, put them in the corner to season a little bit, and we'll do something else with these. Something that's going to help me make biltong. So, lesson learnt, and in the great world of bushcraft, if you don't make a mistake, you don't learn. See you later, guys. Have a good week. Enjoy yourself. Get out in the woods and learn stuff like I have today. I really am quite saddened, but you know, chirpy as well, because I've learnt stuff and I've learnt valuable lessons. Get myself some brambles next time and some ivy. Make good bush baskets out of them. I've seen them made out of that stuff. I was just trying to be too clever. Bye, guys. Well, guys, as I say, I've always said my goodbyes, but as a addendum, it's been a really nice morning in these woods, and I have seen butterflies, I have seen dragonflies, I've seen a goldfinch and a few other birds. In fact, I can see another butterfly ahead of me on this small clearing. Get out there, guys, it's wonderful. This thing called bushcraft isn't all about sitting around campfires boozing it up. It's getting out into the woods and really all fields, coast, the lot. It's getting out there and enjoying the wildlife and these trees that we got around us. Look at them, beautiful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to sign off properly this time, and I shall see you further down the line. Bye.